Hey babies, welcome back or to my YouTube channel here in 2025. Today we're going to be taking a look at Veadotube Mini as well as a program called Mix It Up to use pngTubers. Perfect for streamers, content creators, artists, anyone looking to add a fun and interactive touch to their digital presence but dislikes being on camera some or all of the time. I personally use my persona, D&D character, and original character Baxter as my pngTuber for a handful of hailiiz content, most importantly, my Twitch streams.
My heart just left my butthole. Oh my god. Let her stare into your soul. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw some big balls on her face.
Today, I'm going to walk you through how I utilize Veadotube for my pngTubers. I'm going to touch on using GIFs for added flair and drama, and I'm going to show you how I personally use states and channel point redemptions through Twitch with Mix It Up for extra fun and chaos on your streams. Let's get started. First and foremost, if you are looking for help with issues downloading Veadotube Mini or Mix It Up, I'm going to include the links to their website and if they have any help pages from the developers below. We're going to be focusing today on how I utilize it for my Twitch streams. The developers are the best place to go for any software issues. All right, so once you've got Veadotube Mini downloaded and ready to go, you're going to want to open it up. Right now, I have my pngTuber Baxter, who's also currently talking for me. It's Baxception. As you can see, I have my little Baxter next to me on this side. If I'm ever using camera on stream, I often still have her available and visible, so that way people can interact with her and change the way that she looks. However, usually when I'm on stream, I will show you this really quickly before we get into the full tutorial. If you're on Veadotube, you can actually turn this all the way up, so that way she won't talk and we won't be double talking. For the time being, however, I am going to turn her off just so we don't have that overlay over top of my face and confusing you at all. So the first thing that you're going to notice about Veadotube Mini, it has a very simple interface, which is great for keeping things user-friendly. As someone who gets really overwhelmed with a lot of buttons, I really love this program. It's simple and most importantly, it is free. They are working on another version of it. I'm not sure if it's going to be free, but you can read up what they have released or have talked about on their own website. So for the most basic of information, the first thing you're going to want to do is load your images. So a couple of tips about making a pngTuber, or if you're purchasing one online, or you could even grab a really dumb photo of yourself and edit it so its mouth is open and closed. You're going to ultimately want 4 different images. You're going to want one with open eyes, closed mouth. You're going to want one with open eyes, open mouth, closed eyes, closed mouth, and closed eyes, open mouth. This is because Veadotube actually does it all by itself, adding the blinking that you can see Baxter doing on occasion. That is the program. I did not have to set anything up. The only thing that you can do is change the interval in which she blinks. So before we get to adding our images and showing you how I would do that, today we are actually going to be using, for example, one of my new purchasable pngTubers from my new shop, hailiiz Studios. On hailiiz Studios, you can grab simple pngTubers, emotes, and more. Right now, however, I've only got 5 pngTubers available. Petal, Maya, Sheriff, Carmilla, and a goose and a Canadian goose version. I'm a Canadian, it had to be done. I will be adding even more designs soon, along with matching emotes, alerts, and more for these pngTubers, so check it out. Do keep in mind that these pngTubers that are available are not exclusive. Anyone can purchase them to use them. If you are interested in an exclusive one-of-a-kind design for yourself, you can contact me for pngTuber commissions through my card, which I will link below. So as we're adding the images today, we are going to be using Sheriff. So you're going to want to click on this first image. I don't have the base version right now. I have my own. So as you can see, Baxter is up. So it will have a standard base version when you first open it up. It shouldn't be empty. If it is empty, don't stress. Ultimately, you are going to have all of these buttons, and it is very simple. So first, you want your closed mouth image. This includes open eyes. They even have little doodles for us. So it is quite easy of a program, I believe. So for Sheriff, I'm going to grab open eyes, closed mouth, open eyes, open mouth, closed eyes, closed mouth, and closed eyes, open mouth. Quite simple. And now she is talking for me. I think something of important to note is obviously I am using a green screen. It is not a PNG image when you show it on your StreamlabsOBS, which I will also be opening up to show you how I do that. You may also use other programs such as OBS. However, the programs are quite similar for reasons I won't get into at this time, and I will do my best to explain it to you. So as you can see with Sheriff, her ears move when I talk, which I think is super exciting. I do also have Petal, whose wings move when she talks. It is really, really fun. And again, this is very, very simple. It's 4 images, all on a 2048 by 2048 canvas, PNG image, and you just have the 4 different versions of your character. Some things of important to note, again, I am using a green screen. So with Sheriff's hair, I had to be considerate of which shade of green I used. Something of note, however, is that you can change the display settings, including the background. So you can play around with this. I try not to change the background at all. It's just easier for me. And this horrible green color that is the reason green screens exist is just less common in most images, and I believe that's why it is the most popular. So you can definitely play around with it. If you have a character that's very green based, you can try playing around to see if you can instead use that color of background, so you can remove it on your OBS, StreamlabsOBS, whichever you use. So in my case, I'm just going to show you that this green does seem to work. As you can see, there's no issues with her at all, which is nice. But ultimately, I'm not here to teach you how to make a pngTuber, but if you are interested in that tutorial, please let me know down below. So we have added Sheriff into our Veadotube. She is now available to be used on my program, which again, I'll show you how to utilize in a moment before we even get into Mix It Up. Some things that are important to note is the extra buttons that you can see on the side. First up, you have state properties. This means that you can name your state. As you can see, she's just titled base 2 at the moment. There's different versions of the image mode. I admit I haven't played around with these very much, but if it is something that's important to you or becomes important with whichever pngTuber you use, you can play around with it. And again, like I said here, you can adjust the blink duration. I do think that the blink duration could become important, especially considering you can also use GIFs on Veadotube Mini. I do not have any examples of that. I do not have any tips for that here in this video, but I do want to make it known you can use GIFs. This means that you could have perhaps their hair kind of flowing, maybe something sort of like pulsing, like if they have freckles that glow, whatever it might be. It's something to play around with for sure, and it's incredibly fun. Next up, you have your state effects. So you can do different things. You can randomly move, shaking. You can also adjust, this is all new for me actually, so you can make it only active during the mouth open or closed. You can remove it if you wish, and you can even add more. Like when you're not talking, maybe your pngTuber can darken, fade away, not become the center of attention. There's jumping, there's random movements, there's wave, and there's wave rotate, which is super fun. Definitely something to play around with. Personally, I prefer not to include any of those. It does make me a little bit nauseous, so I prefer a more static image myself. I'm just going to pull it open like this so you can see. But lastly, there are state shortcuts. This will come in handy later, so stay tuned. Then on the left-hand side, you have your microphone settings. It automatically picks up the mic that I'm using on my computer, but if you're ever having issues, you can mess around with those settings. And then here, under the first one on the left is when the mic gets to a certain point, that's when the mouth is opened. For me, I have it quite low at the moment. And again, if I wanted it completely off because I'm using camera that day, but I still want my little pngTuber visible, that's when I would bring it all the way up. And I will say when you have it lower, if you're doing other things that your mic might pick up, such as typing on the keyboard, clicking your mouse, sometimes even when you're drawing and your pencil hits the screen or whatever it might be, it might pick it up. So you want to be mindful of where you set this. There is also a delay. Again, I don't really mess with that, but that is what this one is here. Then you have your display settings, your program settings, and your avatar settings. But under avatar settings, you can save your avatar. Now, I recently got a new computer thanks to my wonderful Hey Babies, and I had to completely redo everything because I did not give myself a backup. So I did teach myself to do this before the tutorial today. So you can save your mini avatar. It's going to save as a Veadotube file. Now, if you have multiple states, the states are not the open mouth, open close, not that. But if I have Baxter and Sheriff in my Veadotube file, I need to save them separately. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a full save, which I wish that it did, but it does not. Next up, you are going to want to put your Veadotube file, your pngTuber, into your program. Again, the programs are quite similar, so hopefully these steps will make sense with your program. I don't use OBS, I use StreamlabsOBS. So firstly, under Sources, you're going to add New. You're going to hit Screen Capture and press Add Source. As you can see, I already have one, but we're going to make a new one today so I can show you how it works. So we're going to add a new source. We're going to call it Sheriff. So I'm going to click that and then I'm going to hit Done. So even though I'm pulling this underneath so you can now see me, she still has this green screen, which is not what we want. So we have her here. I've pulled her to the bottom so I could record my monitor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click her. I'm going to hit Filters and I'm going to click Edit Filters. So you're going to see this screen pop up, and under Add Filter, you're going to go through under Filter Type and pick Chroma Key. So in this case, as you can see, the color type is green. Now her hair has disappeared, as has her eyes. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the similarity and you're going to lower it until she is no longer affected and the green screen is gone. You can also pick other color types, custom color here. So if you're messing around with your Veadotube Mini, I assume this is what you will use here. You can mess around a bit more with some other things here, whether that be the smoothness, but let's keep it simple today. So now if I pull her up, we have our little pngTuber. So now that we have that all fixed up, what we want to do is to be able to have our pngTuber changed by our chat or by ourselves while we stream. This could be for many of reasons. It could be to cause chaos. It could be to have the most cursed pngTuber appear for a special event. Whatever it might be, me personally, I dress Baxter up. I have a lot of different versions of her, and I just think it's very fun. The chat seems to have fun. So now that we've pulled Baxter back up, you can see that I have a lot of different states on my right-hand side. This is with an amazing program I found called Mix It Up. So really quickly, I'm going to pull open my Twitch. I'm going to hit Creator Dashboard, and I'm going to go Viewer Rewards, Power Up, and Channel Points. So under Manage Power Ups and Channel Points, you can see that I have a bunch of different states for Baxter. This is going to seem kind of overwhelming at first, but I promise it is incredibly repetitive and boring once you get the hang of it. So where my viewers are going to see these available is going to be under their channel points. So for me, it's called Bardic Inspiration. My D&D character is a College of Spirits bard, so I thought it'd be fun to put a little flair on it. You can do so many different things. I've seen people call them gold. I've seen people call them sparkles. You can call them whatever you want. So when you click my Bardic Inspiration and you scroll down, you're going to see all of these that are available. So when I put Baxter is Stinky and I use my channel points, in theory, if I use my channel points, because I'm not live, so I cannot show you, and I redeemed 350, that would mean that Baxter would change to, see, ta-da, that's how it works. It is quite simple. When you are live and your channel points are redeemable, if they pick one, such as Baxter is Stinky, what's going to happen is it's going to trigger my Mix It Up app to do what I tell it to. So let's get back to Mix It Up. Once you've signed into your Twitch account that you stream with, you're going to go here and you're going to hit Twitch channel points. So I'm going to walk through with you how they're set up, and then I'm going to set up Sheriff for us so you can see how it works and we can do it together in real time. So don't worry, pause here if you do not have this program available yet and you want to utilize it for your Twitch streams. So to use this feature, you're going to need to know about hotkeys. Hotkeys are something that the magic of computers do, where if you hit a button, let's say Alt-L, it'll change to whatever you set it up to. Something as simple as on my Discord, if I'm muting myself, my hotkey that I made is F8. That's how I mute myself when I'm on Discord with my friends, probably watching Criminal Minds. So in this case, you're going to be wanting to use hotkeys to change your pngTuber. So this is where it comes in that you do not have to do it through Twitch if you don't want to, if you want it to just be your own thing, where your viewers don't have access to this. I find it incredibly convenient, so that way they can kind of just play around and have fun. I get to see all the fun little pngTubers that I made, and we get to have a good time on stream, which is essentially the goal. So I'm going to be opening up Baxter is Dead. So I'm gonna just hit the edit command so you can see what I have going here. Now, a couple things that I've noted about Mix It Up, I haven't seen it change yet. Perhaps it has and I don't know, but keep this in mind. When someone selects one of my channel point redemptions, say they pick Baxter is Stinky, and seconds afterward, someone picks Baxter is Dead, it will go to the next one. There is supposed to be a like a wait time, like a tier, no, like it just, there's words, it's supposed to wait if you add time to it, but it doesn't for me. Kind of just told chat it's a battle to the death to see which pngTuber is available. I used to have it where they were only up for a certain amount of time, which I can show you how to do as well, but now I've just changed it where it just changes permanently for that stream until someone selects another. So the first thing that I have is a chat message, and it's $username wants to remind everyone that Baxter is indeed dead. You can write whatever you want here. It can be chaotic, it can be simple. You also don't have to have this chat command, but I like it. I think it just kind of announces to chat what is happening, why the state is the way that it is, and I think it's cute and fun. Next up, you have your input. Okay, so this is the most important part. This is your hotkey. Type keyboard, I believe that is the original one, so you don't have to change it. Then you pick which letter, whatever, on your keyboard. Action click, I believe it stays, and Alt. So that means when you press Alt-I, it will change to this VTuber. So for example, this is Baxter is Dead. If I open up my Veadotube Mini and I press Alt-I, it changes. So essentially what Mix It Up is doing is just doing it for me without actually physically touching my keyboard, which is super cool. We love that for us. Easy. A couple other options you can do, which I will show you in the step-by-step, which we are gonna do next to add Sheriff. So firstly, and most importantly, when you're adding hotkeys onto your computer, onto your keyboard, make sure they don't already do something else. I have had a little issues with that. Everything else, I'm perfect. My computer just did something. I'm slowly figuring out. Either way, I think I just have Alt QW, like all the letters, and I think a couple are numbers as well, but Alt seems to be the safest one to use so far. So on the bottom, I'm gonna pick Sheriff. I'm gonna move me so you can see what I'm talking about. So over here, you're gonna click the hotkey, assign shortcut, and then I'm gonna hit Alt B, and I'm gonna hope that that doesn't do anything else. Let's try. Nope, seems to be fine. Now, she is set up to Alt B. So if I pick one of my other ones and I hit Alt B on my keyboard, it switches back to cute little cutie patootie Sheriff. Something to note that I just remembered doing this here is you'll notice that Baxter is smaller than Sheriff. That is because for the most smoothest transitions, I wanted Baxter to be the same size on all of her pngTubers, and sometimes, or all of her states, I should say, and sometimes we have cursed images that need a bit more height, so that's why it is like that. It's not really necessary, but it can be nice when things are more smooth, as you can see. So now that we have Alt B attached to Sheriff in the Veadotube Mini, we know that Alt B is going to change her to that when I want her to. So I'm going to go to the bottom of Mix It Up, and I'm going to hit Create New Channel Point Reward. Now again, it is very important to remember that I have signed in with Mix It Up to my Twitch channel. I know that seems obvious, but I just want to be sure we are all aware that everything has to be connected. We are going to call it Sheriff. Press OK. So it has been successfully created. I'm going to go here, I'm going to scroll to the bottom under Ungrouped. She's going to be right there. Something important to note over on my Twitch is she has already popped up. It is very quick on my Twitch channel, channel points page. I'm going to press this little edit button. I'm going to unlock it. That seems to be important so far. You can play around with that. Again, I might be wrong about how to do the step-by-step or not overlapping issues, but it's fine. Under command group, I could put her under basic. If I wanted to make a new command group, I believe I can start typing here and it'll kind of just happen and it'll create itself, which is great. But again, I'm just going to put her under basic. So first things first, we are going to hit this and we are going to pick chat message. Whoop. And then we're going to press plus. So you can send it as a streamer, you can send it as a whisper. I haven't really done that. So if you want the person who clicked your channel point's name to pop up in this message, that's why you type $username has brought the sheriff to town. That is so cringe. I hate myself. So we have that. So now that is going to pop up in the chat when that channel point is used. Then we're going to do input. So input keyboard and mouse plus. So like I said, base, keyboard, we want to pick B because that is what we've used for sheriff. And then we're going to click Alt. Pretty simple. Now, this is how I have it set up because I just want them to be permanent, that stream. It does start on the base Baxter at the beginning of each stream. I want them to just stay until someone changes it. I have been stuck in horrible situations where they have made me a terrifying cursed snowman for an extended period of time. They did find great joy in that. If I didn't want that, if I wanted it to be so sheriff stays up for let's say 5 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm then going to pick wait. And in seconds, hey Google, what's 5 minutes in seconds? It's 300 seconds. I knew that all along. So we're going to put 300 seconds, and that means that it's going to stay sheriff for 300 seconds. Now, again, if someone picks another pngTuber from the channel point, it will still overlap. So it will not wait to do the next one. Unfortunately, I might be messing up my settings here with Mix It Up. If you know how to do it, please tell me. I am not the smartest person in the world. I just know how to do what I do. We have the 300 seconds under wait, and then next up, we're going to do input again. I used to have it where Baxter, my base Baxter, it went back to her after so and so amount of time. I considered this when I choose how many points each cost, that kind of stuff, but I decided to just keep it static, so I don't have this anymore. But in this case, I would just pick my base pngTubers hotkey, and it would go right back to it at that point. So then what you're going to do is you're going to press save. So now Sheriff is in my list of channel point redemptions. So just to show you how this is going to work, I'm going to open up Sheriff and I'm going to go to the wait and I'm just going to change it to 3 seconds and I'm going to press save. And then I'm going to go on some random one. Here's the cursed snowman. So I'm going to press play, test command. So it has changed to Sheriff. It will wait 3 seconds and then it'll go back to Baxter. So over on my Twitch, really quickly, the last part of the little tutorial that I'm doing today, you have Sheriff here. It is enabled. I could go into edit, I can change the reward name, I can add a description so when my viewers are looking at the channel point redemption, that's what they will see as the explanation. You can require a viewer to enter text for whatever reason. You can change the cost of channel points. I did end up making mine all of the same, just so it caused a little bit more chaos and fun on the stream. You can then add your reward icons. As you can see, they have to be quite small in size, and it's a PNG image, preferably. I usually just do a little white doodle of Baxter on a PNG image, and I make it very, very small. So it fits. For example, this is the Sailor Moon Halloween costume that I did of Baxter. And then you can go here and you can choose the background color that it'll show up in your list. You can also add in skip reward request queue. So if your mods are paying attention to the queue, if they've redeemed something like shout out, you don't want this to be popping up because it's not necessary. You don't have to do anything about it. So technically I should have this turned on. You can also set cooldowns if you don't want people to be utilizing this one. However, it will not work if you're trying to make them not overlap each other. They're not connected in that way. And that's it. So now hopefully you know how to use Veadotube Mini with PNGs and GIFs to set up different states and outfits and fun little stuff. You could even switch between a goose. You can make yourself a fork. You can add like chaos. You can add cursed images. You can add a bunch of different pretty little images. You could be different fruits, whatever it might be. If you have any questions after this tutorial, I'm not a professional at this. I'm not a professional teacher at explaining things, but please feel free to comment down below and I will answer every comment that I can, especially with this because I know it can be a lot. I've also attached this tutorial to all of my pngTubers that you can now purchase on my shop. If you wanted to check it out, that would be cool. No one has purchased yet, but maybe someday someone will, and that would be cool. I hope this tutorial was helpful. I hope it gives you ideas for your streams. I hope it makes them more engaging and fun and chaotic, of course. And that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have the loveliest day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! We're going to be doing a tutorial on backgrounds. Now, I've talked about this ellipse tutorial and a study session. We're going to color the tutorial from the previous tutorial that we did. So we